What's up, good people? It's your boys, Beards of War, back again. And here we are, man. We're gonna do Fallout's episodes 4 and 5. Got myself, Thick Nick Fury, got the Arson Assassin, Scorched Earth, FBR for President Fat Broken Rambo, aka the digital media demigod, behind the scenes, the conductor of chaos, Captain Jack. And we're gonna get into it, man. All right, we got Fallout seasons 4 and 5, man. It's a lot going on. We got the Ghoul and Lucy making their way to Vegas, still looking for Hank. We got some flashbacks going on to kind of give us some background story and see what's going on. We got Maximus and then Thaddeus trying to, undo the thing that's been done, with the paladin. So there's a lot going on. So who wants to start us off, Rambo? You want to start us off, bro?
Yeah, man, I'll kick it off. So we're gonna kick this one off on episode 4 with a good flashback. So we've got Cooper Howard back when he's fighting in the Sino-American War. So I had to look that up in Alaska, right? So he's in the power armor. Him and a fellow Marine have gotten busted up pretty good. Uh, he's trying to fall back from his position. What is it? Tactical repositioning, I think we used to call it. And he's trying to fall back a little bit. Obviously, the suits are damaged, so they're kind of out of the fight. He pushes one of his guys basically further back so he can get back and get repaired, and he's kind of holding his position when yeah, man, the suit starts to malfunction and shit kind of goes sideways because the opposition, I'm not sure which military that was. They discover him and then they start fucking with him. They basically start talking to him a little bit too long, doing the whole villain thing. And he's kind of stuck in his suit, man, like a disabled Iron Man. And then off in the distance, you start seeing that monster starts coming out of the shadows, and you start to see it. And what we're seeing is the first emergence of his first encounter with a death claw. And I will say this, I don't know the lore very well. I'm trying to expand my mind on it. I've got the games. Good luck if I ever get around to it. Hopefully, maybe I can in this century. But what's interesting is I didn't realize that death claws existed prior to the bombs dropping. So this was kind of new for me. And finding that out just kind of blew my mind a little bit. So for the two people that might be in the chat, if anybody knows and you guys are fans of the games, let us know, man. Put in the comments. I'd love to hear why a death claw appeared prior to the war starting where the bombs dropped. And yeah, we move on from there. So we reconnect with the Ghoul and Lucy, and they're on the pathway. And if I remember right, they're leaving the New California Republic. She's gotten patched up. Basically, is coming back to life and getting addicted to a drug, which makes her happy to engage with the populace that they encounter with a little bit more of a violent tendency than it's just previously displayed. So we basically get to the gates or the outer perimeter of the fenced-in Vegas, and with Lucy and the Ghoul, and they encounter a Ghoul gang of Elvis impersonators. And Lucy has that killer scene, man, where she just like wrecks shit like Terminator 2 with that shotgun. She just starts decapitating motherfuckers with lead. It's pretty awesome to watch. And the Ghoul just kind of like sits back and just watches this all, like it's like a train wreck for him, just watching her like finally like develop that homicidal tendency, and smiling while she's doing it, man. It's pretty damn hilarious. What is
Yeah,
it?
I
She
think he's
said,
enjoying it.
I love
He's
drugs.
loving her
That kind
high.
of shit.
He is
Yeah.
loving her high, man. He's like one addiction at a time, you know.
Yeah, he's
You
got
know,
that
she
great line
had
at the
that.
end. That line at the end of the scene where he's like, what did he say? He's like, I think you've had enough fun for the day. Or, man, it was fantastic though. Walton Goggins got some gems in this show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she even had that attic itch, right? You saw her like scratching her neck. She's
Oh
like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, can I get, I just want,
And
can I
one
get
of
some
them
more?
pegs.
my
And then
stomach
she
hurts
was,
and my teeth are chattering.
Yeah.
and she
Going through
was
withdrawals.
stoked after killing him, and she gave the thumbs up, right? Which was kind of his thing that he created for all the vaults way back in the way back when he was acting, before he became a ghoul. And then what did she say? Hey, you know what? You got any cigarettes? I think I'd like to have one. I'd like to try one. It was like, all right, that was kind of funny. They had a bunch of good, funny clips in this to include, the like Thaddeus, even though it might not have been that funny to most. Thaddeus walking around in the suit is just hilarious, especially like if you look at when they went to go get on the helo. He's like, all right, let's get out of here, and he's got like both of his arms down to his side, like Eeyore if he was a person walking.
Dude,
And
when
he's
he
just
was
got,
hitting,
like
he kept
what's
hitting the
that?
door jam,
Oh yeah, trying to get out.
one foot in front of the other.
He was like, uh,
Uh
me no know how. But yeah, it was. I mean, the episode. I thought the episode was pretty good. I was kind of perplexed though with oh dang, how did I forget his name, man? He's the main guy. That's the story's
Maximus
kind of
or
building. Maximus, thank you.
Mhm.
how he got to the point where he was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna have to, because he knew that they were gonna kill both him and Thaddeus if they found out that Thaddeus was in the suit. So he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna have to kill the main dude, and he's got the gun on him, got the drop on him, and he kind of tells the story of why he ended up killing the other guy that was a part of the what's the main group, the
Brotherhood of Steel.
no the
Oh, the
one in charge of the Brotherhood of Steel. Well, at least allegedly,
not the community,
because the
the
faction,
Commonwealth.
the Commonwealth. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And he's telling him the story why he had to do it. And he's like, look, he was gonna kill a bunch of kids, and you can see the guy was like, really? And he was like, yeah, there were ghoul kids, and the guy's like, abominations. So at that moment, because Thaddeus had already, or not Thaddeus, but Maximus had already started to lower his gun. You see him bring it back up. He raises it back up, and it looks like he's about to shoot him, and then he doesn't, and then they start trading shots at each other like they're a couple of stormtroopers shooting at each other and missing like crazy, and you're just like, what in the that. So that was, I won't say disappointing, but I thought they were gonna kill him, but I guess you got to keep him around because it'll just feed into the story, and the story seems to be coming along. I really thought we would have been at what we see in episode 5,
Yeah.
probably around episode 3, maybe
That's fair.
4. But hey, I'm happy we're at where we are in episode 5. I thought 5 was good. It was better than 4. 4 was good. So no, go ahead.
Yeah, because it ends on, if I remember correctly, Thaddeus and what's his little psychic buddy name? No, Maximus and Thaddeus. Okay.
Maximus Thaddeus.
Yeah, when they're doing like the worst E&E away from the fucking objective, like the little internal civil war broke out between the factions that were what's his name was trying to kind of like bring
against the
together.
Commonwealth.
Exactly. So that fraction, they all started killing each other in really brutal fashions, and these two dipshits are running across open desert. Yeah, I was just like, man, there was no plan there. Like you couldn't take like a little flying craft or something like that and get the hell out of the area.
With
Yeah.
what is it? With the cold fusion vial?
Do they have it?
Yeah. So remember his kind of compadre that
Yeah,
put the razors in her boots or whatever back
Yeah.
in the day so she wouldn't go out. She was the one that, because that's why all heck started breaking loose, is because they were like, somebody stole it, and they figured one of the factions did it, and it was really her. And she's like, look, take this because you're the only person that's got a level head, and you go find your girl, whatever. You just get this out of here. So he took off, and they're all fighting each other because they think each other stole it. One another took that vial, and meanwhile, these guys are running off through the desert of Area 51, while you got the blimps, the dirigibles of the future fighting each other, and like stuff falling out of the sky, everybody killing each other. Nobody sees them running through the open desert, one in a suit and one in just regular plain clothes. But
Yeah, and obviously they're going towards Vegas, so like that's not really a shocker, but yeah, man. So I mean, that kind of wrapped up 4 as far as I can recall. Like it was 2 weeks ago, guys. Sorry, traumatic brain injury. Like can't remember shit.
And there's some stuff going on back at the vaults. I mean, I know it's not
Thank
as
you.
appealing, but Overseer Harper, they find out she's from Canada. I guess that's a negative thing. I don't know.
I wonder
can
where
you
that's
not
going
run
to
a
end up.
vault if you're from Canada. Is
So
that a
well,
thing?
So part of that, though, if you think about it, is because her husband, right? Because he overheard them in there talking, where she was really kind of scolding old boy because he overheard the conversation. He's talking to her, and she's, yeah, I'll make sure I take that up the chain to myself and scold him.
Exactly.
And the husband, that's really like not the dad of the kid and all that, he finds her secret little notebook in a false bottom drawer and finds that that Canadian ID, and he's of the mind, I'm sure, like everybody else, that everybody was born down in the vaults. Like, what? Why is there
Why
ID
does she
from
have that?
her in Canada? Not making sense. I am interested to see where that goes, but she definitely has more backstory, I think, than we probably saw at the very beginning. But it's been kind of building over time. And of course, there's that little disagreement they got over, I don't know, resources like water, but I think because they have history going back to the days when they worked together before.
Supposedly, I guess this ID, as we see in the chat, makes her around 200 years old. So there may be some type of extra
so I was gonna wait until we
weird stuff
talk
going on there.
episode 5, but I think we're linking her into like a pretty nefarious plot point coming up.
Okay, yeah, the eye patch tells you everything.
So I don't think he's the husband. He's kind of like the step-in guy because her husband gets her
Yeah, he got
husband and the
killed.
father of the kid got killed when
Yep.
what is it Moldover came in and killed everybody to snatch up Hank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like a
she wouldn't
fill-in.
marry him because he asked about it,
Yeah,
and she was like, "What? We got a disagreement." That was in like a couple episodes ago. But
yeah,
he's the de facto like stepdad, not married, but really kind of like,
Yeah,
if
he's
you
a
were to
goober.
call it anything, like a boyfriend plus, that's just kind of under her thumb. But now he knows a
oh
little
yeah,
more.
yeah. It's gonna get interesting with that for sure. I'm finally excited to see the vault aspect because it's been kind of tedious, especially with the support group storyline for like those that are inbred or some shit like that. It's so weird.
Maximum. Somebody says Maximum got the idiot savant perk. Yeah, he has kind of jacked up all the assassination attempts, but I think they're trying to build his story right and
That's
figure out like
fantastic.
I think he's going to have a pretty good story as it goes along, that kind of bleeds into quite possibly the future games. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Supposedly some of these characters are from the new game, so I mean, hey, there you go.
So yeah, so the episode pretty much ends with, if I remember correctly, they breach the Elvis gang and then they get inside and they're encountering New Vegas's version of the Death Claw. So it is a Death Claw, but I'm saying like New Vegas's version. And then he's like, he Cooper obviously is having that fucking flashback in real time right there, and Lucy's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then he looks to the left and sees the second one. And then when we start off, and then that's how the episode cut. And then we start out this episode, episode five. There's not two, man. There's motherfucking four. So yeah, and they got to think fast on their feet. So basically, they punch out of there and come out through a crawl space, if I remember correctly. Uh,
Through a
Slide under the gate or something.
yeah,
yeah, it's the kind of gate that the makeshift gate that blocks off everybody else from the inside. But that since you brought it up, that was a point of contention that I had. Not a big one, but it's funny one how they kind of they're able to escape given how fast those things seem to be moving. But two, more importantly for that is okay. That was just like some thin metal and like some stuff kind of holding it. So you mean to tell me that those things couldn't the guys that their tail could knock a palm tree down just by them walking, but they couldn't knock down this little tin metal thing that you could see through the cracks. They couldn't come through that to get them
mm,
out into where everybody else is. They didn't seem to have any kind of control chips or whatever. I think that's just a matter of like, all right, hey, we gotta get. We don't want them killing them, or we don't want those getting out and killing everybody, and kind of ruins the story. But I was kind of like, all right, man. I mean, maybe they could have made it like the dog had dug a hole underneath something a little more sturdy. But
okay.
those death claws could have definitely. I want to say on the close of the last episode, when they slid under there, the death claw kind of crashed into it. I think if they would have just bumped into it, that thing would have opened up and those death claws would have came out and just
That's
started
Yeah, I think
fair,
there's
tearing
got to
man.
be
everybody up.
something to the story. There's got to be something. That's too big of a plot hole. There's got to be a reason.
Especially the one
Um,
that, because my understanding is like they're still outside. Like they have to go. They're going into Vegas. They go into Vegas later in the episode. But that area of New Vegas, right there where the Death Claws were, it looked like they were like kind of like guard dogs. And is
Yeah,
that going
and
to be where the vault is at? And Hank is potentially like working?
so I don't think so. I think maybe that's where what's his name, Mister
Mr. House?
House, yeah, Mr. House is, and
I
he
think he's
has
in
those
Lucky
kind of
38.
set up around his perimeter. But Hank is in
Oh, that's right.
the
He's in
one
a
that he was
different
in
vault.
before, which is still technically in Vegas. And that's where he actually has old boy's wife and daughter in cryostasis. Because remember, he puts that chip on the back of that weird guy that's walking around,
Yeah, the
with
salesman that
selling
turned
snake oil salesman. Yeah,
turned
which I
Thaddeus
didn't.
into a ghoul.
Yeah, and I don't think they really even need to have him. But okay, you're selling him in the story, and he goes and passes along a message. Like, hey, if you bring her back, to safety, then Hank will make sure that your wife and your daughter stay in cryostasis and fine. But if not, they might have to be exterminated early. I'm just a messenger. So do you agree with the? And now I know that's getting towards the end of episode 5, but um, and he basically shoots her with a dart. So he's like, sorry, I'm gonna. That's kind of the deal. I want to make sure that my wife and kid are safe or whatever. So that love that they've kind of been building between one another and trust, you see start to come apart a bit.
Yeah, for
Just a bit
since
for
we're already at the end. Um,
well, I didn't. give all of it up.
I would say that at first I thought the ghoul was actually just darting her because he was actually going to take her back to the vault. I didn't realize that Hank was going to get her. And then when Hank shows up, obviously he's talking to her. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic moving forward. I'm digging Kyle MacLachlan in this season or in this series, man. Like at first I was like, oh, you're just a little dork guy. Just like the other vault dwellers, but like he's really cutthroat, man. I've been really surprised at some of the turns he's taken in this season. He's making a hell of a villain, I think. I still think the ghoul's going to rescue her. I think he's going to go back in. I think he just received a frago, and this motherfucker's trying to move out and draw fire right now. I think he's going to go out and try to get into the vault now and get his family out, and then he's going to deal with Hank and rescue Lucy. And obviously Maximus and Thaddeus. Like I think we're staring down the barrel of a really kick-ass final couple episodes because the whole band's going to get together pretty much for the first time. I actually kind of hope Thaddeus sticks around and give the man a power suit, man. Let him have some fun. I think it's gonna be a kick-ass final 3 episodes, so I'm excited to see where it goes. I felt the build-up took a really long time to get here. I would like to see the Legion storyline pay off. If I'm being bitchy about it, like I really need that to be more than just what it was.
I think there'll probably be a fight scene to some degree with them. Maybe they get smashed pretty bad, and then a few of them scattered to the desert. But I did want to bring up another one of the big elephants in the room, right? Giant Easter egg. When they have that moment where the fake Mr. House brings in old boy to meet the real Mr. House, and they had that conversation about, hey, you know what? I know why you're here. You're here to kill me. So he had actually been following and listening to a lot of the conversations. And then out of nowhere, he almost seems like he might be quasi a good guy because he's like, hey, I'm not the one that's going to push the button and drop the bombs. And none of those people that were those idiots that were in the boardroom is the person either, but I don't know who it is. And I'm using all of my skills and all these electronics and this knowledge to figure out who it is. And I know pretty much everything. That's what I don't know. And I'm building all these weapons in defense of all of us to defend against those bombs being dropped, but I'm trying to figure out who it is. And then that threw the ghoul kind of that was the flashback obviously, but threw him kind of to the left because he stormed out of there like what is going on, and started drinking heavily or whatever. And then he's like, I gotta have a talk with you, babe. So I'm sure there'll be more about what their conversation was when he was on the bed and says we need to talk, maybe in the next episode. But the guy seems a little batty, but smart. He possibly a good guy, maybe something in between. I don't know, but it was interesting to see they tried to twist it a bit so it looked like Mr. House really wasn't necessarily the one who pushed the button. There might be somebody pulling the strings behind him, maybe a secret kind of cabal or of a few people that were outside of the boardroom. Maybe it was that person, if you recall, up in the rafters. I know they made that out to be Mr. House, but there was a person in the shadows when they were having their initial meeting. That might be somebody else that's really kind of pulling the strings and, pushes the button. Who knows? It could even be Hank. I don't know.
I mean, that is half the mystery, right? Because I don't think they've ever solved that problem in the games, but I could be wrong. I mean, hey, Zeus, #1 fan. Hey, buddy. Do you know if in the games we know who dropped the bombs? I'm sure. I mean, you sound like you're a Fallout fanatic, so asking for a friend. But yeah, man, I think that's half the mystery or half the fun of the past timeline. It's pretty much the only thing I'm really rooted in there because I think they've laid their cards out on the table for the past timeline. So I don't know how much more we have to go back. Aside from the mystery with the executives that Norm defrosted. So like now we're seeing these guys go into what is it? Sandy Shades' Vault-Tec company building after we meet up with our famous general store lady from the first season. And
Roach Farm.
It's so gross, man. What a horrible way to fucking live. Anyways, so they finally gain access up there, and we see Norm kind of like, he sees some vulnerability in somebody that maybe he could talk to that's not like a straight up like buds kind of jerk, and seems to try to like exploit the situation to gain an ally in the fight. And then we see old boy, I don't know, the asshole of the group, the standard issue asshole that's been bullying, kind of like second questioning Norm and stuff like that. He overhears the true intentions of Norm and then basically tries to, choke his ass out, and does.
And he knows some of the,
Yeah.
some of the truth behind everything. And Norm was just about to get to it. He's like, what? He was reading the acronym and what that really was. We didn't get into too much, but that guy obviously knows some of it because what did he say a little earlier? It was like, yeah, I don't know all of it, but I was the one that would bring the lunches to the meetings when they were talking about phase 2. And he seems to know a bit, and he already got a little suspicious of Norm before they got into Shady Sands Vault-Tec office. But then, of course, Norm gets choked out by a telephone cord or a wire from the computer, and the girl never came back in with the first drink that Norm would ever have. And so I'm sure, and Norm's going to be back, right? Because he was still breathing at the end. But yeah, it's going to be. I think the next episode or two is just going to be really, head on. It's going to be a lot of action and storyline to go along with it. I think it's going to be good. At least I'm hoping.
I think what we're going to see too is I think we're going to see like a full frontal assault with all the other factions because I could see like these all our four main characters that are pretty much on the run, all pushing to Vegas right now, have pretty much like touched major factions along the way and pissed them off simultaneously. So it would be kind of dope, man, to see them duking it out inside the city limits. And then all of a sudden, you got the Legion on one side, and then you have the Brotherhood of Steel kind of come in with the last remaining airships that they've got and just put Mr. House's defenses to the test. I'm super curious to kind of see Hank's facility a little bit more fleshed out and see where that's going to go. And I think the guy, Bud's Bud, the asshole of the group that tries to choke out Norm, I think the one-eyed lady is a one, out in Vault 33, I think it is. I think she is the one they're referencing in that. I think she is a top dog in the company, and we're going to find out she's a major villain.
She's in 32.
32.
Because they originate the
they all
show
came from
originated in 33, but technically everybody originated from 31, and then that whole thing. I do have a question though. What do you guys think about the ghoul? Like how's he going to get down from that pole or whatever that he fell? Because he fell and it went through the middle of him. He's stuck on it, and it's not like it was real close to the ground. It looked like it was a pointy telephone pole, and he only fell about halfway. So I'd be interested to see how he's going to get himself out of that. Because one, he's got to get up off of that, and then two, take his little weird drugs to keep him going. And I don't know. I'll be interested. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get him off of there. He's one of the main characters. He's got to be around for a while. But it's just an interesting anecdotal kind of question.
I mean, it's I think in the trailer, if you watch the trailer at the end of the credits, you kind of see him trying to pull himself up. But Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine doing that. But I mean, he's 200 plus years old, so, and obviously doesn't seem to die very well.
Yeah, right. Not his first rodeo.
All right. The power fist was pretty dope to see, though. That was kind of cool. We kind of glazed over her getting the anti-drug medication or the Narcan. I don't know, Amazon's Narcan. And
at
so
least
she got
not a
squared away
anymore.
But just after the ghoul darts her, man, she puts that power fist on and just blows his ass out of a window. It's fucking hilarious.
That was a nice slow motion fall scene. I'll give him that. Yeah. That was pretty solid.
And this is what pisses me off, man, because streamers streaming companies that go super cheap, but then you just look at something like Fallout that they thought was going to be a wash on season 1, and the production is just off the charts phenomenal, in my opinion. I think they do an incredible job with that show, and I love the fact that they're collaborating with Bethesda and the guys that created this stuff. So I mean, and the fans will show up, right? Good stuff. So I mean, the season's been slow. Don't get me wrong, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I think that about covers it for Fallout. I do have a little something for the people out there. I haven't done a poll in a while, so I think now would be a good time for one. All right, so poll I want to do is best video game to series adaptation. So we have Fallout currently playing on Amazon Prime. We have Halo playing on Paramount, Twisted Metal from Peacock, and Last of Us from HBO Max. That's going to be our poll. All right. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, if you've seen them all, obviously you have the best piece of ammunition to actually make a good, educated vote. But if you have one that you just love, maybe you haven't seen them all, but there's one that you absolutely love, absolutely vote for that. But that's going to be our poll. Just kind of see where people's heads are at with these shows. And, sometimes if you haven't seen one in a while, you kind of forget, like, oh, man, I forgot how much I enjoyed that, or I didn't know about this particular one. So I think we're going to do that poll. And I want to get it done now before They made God of War, which I'm already anticipated to be
Dude,
phenomenal.
yeah, Ryan Hurst.
Ryan
I
Hurst
didn't
cast
see
as
that
Kratos.
casting, but I'm decently excited about that. I
I
think he's
am.
going to do good.
I
Fingers
am,
crossed,
bro.
man.
Like, I mean, you gotta get it. You gotta get Kratos right, bro. You have to. It's like a Witcher, right?
I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I
he's gonna
hope it.
bulk up a little bit. I think Obi got to bulk up just a little bit. I mean, he's got
I
the
hope
height,
it's
but
not.
you
Yeah,
need
he's
to do
gonna
a
have
little
to.
bit more.
I hope it's
Yeah.
not one of those cases where they hope that like one guy, even though Kratos is really kind of almost a one guy, but I hope they don't, kind of drive it to where one guy carries the show because
The show, right? Yeah,
I hate
you
when they
need
do
solid.
that, and I think that's probably
Yeah.
what they're gonna do. They're gonna bank on it being the one guy carrying the show, and those just aren't that great. But we'll see. I'm optimistic.
Even Hercules' legendary journeys had a sidekick. All right, let's just remember that. Like, Kevin Sorbo, I mean, hey, I mean, kind of went off the rails a little bit lately, but I mean, I
Xena
remember
Princess
Hercules.
Warrior
Hercules
had
was
a
great
sidekick.
series.
Xena
Hercules
Princess
was a
Warrior.
great series, man. I'm sorry, I said what I said. Aeolus, I think, with the sidekick. Remember that? Oh man, even Xena had her
Yep.
sidekick. So it works. You got to have a good number two, right?
Yeah, I mean, Red Sonja had Arnold Schwarzenegger, so there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go. All right.
Hey, it's got some love in the chat actually. So hey, Jackslaw, thanks for the education on ghouls, man. We're not up to speed on how the games, and so that was pretty informative. Jack, Halo was garbage. I'm all in on with Zeus on that one. Watched a couple episodes. If you guys are Halo fans and you haven't checked it out, go on YouTube. Neil Blomkamp helped get some independent starter films up for Halo years before that television series ever came out. They're live action for a very limited indie budget. Like it is fucking phenomenal. It's absolutely worth the watch. Go look it up. They're great, and they honor the series really well. Like I said, I gave Halo probably 2 episodes, and it was deviating so far from the game setting and the lore that they established in the games. I lost complete interest.
It's hard, right? It's hard, and it's hard for true fans. Hard for them to stay on it. But
It's true.
Some people like myself, if you don't play the game, you kind of you're a little bit more open minded because you don't know that they're
Right.
not following the lore.
But I'm saying, just like Judge Dredd, don't take the fucking helmet off.
I am the law. I am the
Yeah.
law.
But we know it's you, Stallone. We know. All right. But yeah, man. I mean that's our show. Thank you guys for coming out. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, man. We love doing this. We enjoy it. And we'll be back, man. We'll be back with matter of fact, we're gonna check out
28 days later, Bone Temple.
Yeah. So
Saturday. So we'll bring the
stay
review on
tuned next
Tuesday.
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we're looking forward to it, man. But that's all I got, man. Dick Nick out here.
Scorched out.
Bad Broken Rambo out here. Be good to each other. Hey, Zeus. Yeah, I saw Sophie Turner's promo photo today on Instagram. Costume authentic from the old 90s games, man. So pretty interested to see how it goes. I actually was a big fan of the last Tomb Raider flick.
Oh, well, she's playing Lara Croft, right? Lara
Yeah,
Croft,
she is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. Hey, man,
Got a
guys,
de-
thanks for
Got a
carrying
decent
that,
cast,
bro.
man.
You guys carried that well.
good.
You guys carried
The
that
new
well.
Tomb
I appreciate
Raider series that's coming on Amazon. It's got a good cast.